Oh my gosh, hello. It's been a minute since I've seen y'all. Before we get started, I wish upon whoever is watching this video right now, I wish upon you the best music. I wish upon you the best food. I wish upon you all that you want for yourself and more. How are you feeling? How have you been? If this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, hi, welcome. This is a very different thing than what I usually, do as far as my streaming and stuff. This is an unedited video where I simply just talk about my life and I give you updates about things that are happening with me and my thoughts on various things, spirituality, relationships, just kind of random shit. I hope that you get, if this is what you're wanting in your life, I hope you get your back broke in the way that you need. In the way that you need. That's what I want for you. I hope that you find you just everything is moisturized. Your spirit, everything is moisturized, you know what I'm saying? Your hair, your skin, your DMs, come through moisturized DMs. It's been a minute. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Yasha. I also go by Taylor the Penguin on Twitch, where I stream video games and I chat and I yap, and I've been doing that for a while now. I typically stream Wednesday and Fridays, and I've been kind of playing around. I either start at 7:30 p.m. and go to 10:45 p.m. or I start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I go until 5 p.m. So that's all up in the air right now. But so that's what I be doing over there. But on here, I was doing, I do spiritual content on here, metaphysical shit. I talk about my life and my journey and just kind of, what I'm doing right now. And it's kind of also acting as a personal diary for myself about what's going on, so that I can come back and watch these when things happen in the future. So, if you are here with me, hi. You don't have to stay, obviously. If you do stay, I'd appreciate it. Always like when people come hang. I love seeing y'all's likes and comments, your subscriptions, your follows, everything. Those of you who are watching this and you've donated to my Twitch channel, thank you so much for the donations. Thank you for the gifted subs, the subscriptions, all of that. I love that shit. That shit's good. So, last time I was on here doing a video like this it had to be a couple weeks ago. It feels like it's been a month. Time has completely eluded me. I don't know what's happening in the spiritual realm. I don't know if you've been experiencing this, but I do not know 2 days ago from 3 weeks ago. It's been crazy. It's been a wild ride. I think the last time I was on here talking about spiritual stuff, I was just talking about like manifestation in general. I think that's where my head was at. And just talking to spirit, working on, my various issues, triggers and traumas, and really trying to get a handle on that stuff. I think I may have done a tarot card reading for you guys, which I haven't been moved to doing in a minute. It's been a while, which is why I kind of can't say that I do that like consistently, that I, do readings and stuff like that, because it really only happens when I feel led to. But, that's kind of what I was doing, right? Like as far as manifestation stuff. Of course y'all want to do yard work as soon as I get on here to film. Just rude, bro. But that's what I was doing. But recently, Spirit's been at me about some new things. So it started off being I wanted to manifest something, a relationship, soulmate, a new place to live, because I currently live with my parents and I currently live in the state of Florida. And these are two things I want to change. You hear me? You feel me? And money, resources, we all try to manifest that shit. Income, multiple revenues if possible, multiple avenues of revenue if possible. And I think abundance, I wanted abundance, and I also wanted to feel peace. I wanted a peace that is beyond all understanding. These are the things that I wanted, and I was trying to manifest. Spirit hit me up like last week sometime, and I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but essentially Spirit hit me with the you want other things first. I was like, what do you mean by that? Talk to me, Spirit. And what it ended up being, I'm trying to remember like the chronological order of things. I was moved to work on a grimoire or a spiritual book. For those of you that don't know, these types of books you make yourself, and it doesn't matter what faith you follow. It doesn't matter if you don't have faith and you don't follow anything. This is a book where essentially your entire spiritual practice goes into it. So you write down things that you don't want to forget, things that are important, things to remember. And it kind of acts as a kind of guidebook for yourself. So I like to call it a grimoire because a grimoire means magic. I think it means like a magic or a spell book. If you are of the Christian faith or any other faith, a book like that could essentially be just a binder that you have or a digital, book that you have where you are putting your Bible verses that bring you strength. It's where you put things that, meditative things that maybe as you're praying, you're getting these downloads, you're getting spiritual information. That is where you would put all of your collection of stuff. And because for me, it includes everything in my metaphysical practice, I just call it a grimoire because I like calling it that. And so I was moved to create this. Ooh, that's what happened. Okay. So I was having a good day. I was out with the family. We were having pizza. We were having a good time, a beautiful time, an amazing time, if you will. While we were there, I was on one. One what? I was enjoying life. I was complimenting people because this is what I like to do. I love sharing and spreading magic and love by complimenting people who I am usually moved to compliment, to start a conversation if I'm moved to do so. And I did that with a couple of people, had really great conversation, amazing interactions. There was one young woman who I saw sitting a couple tables away from my family, and she looked to not be in a good place. Spirit said to me, y'all listen to this, because some of y'all, you listen to this right now. Spirit told me, don't you take your ass over there. She don't need you. She does not need you to come into her space and tell her or show her or anything. I sat at that table for like 15 minutes because we were there for a while. And I really wanted to go compliment her. I know now that the reason I wanted to was because I was feeling cute. I was feeling nice. And I wanted to share the good vibes that I was carrying with me that day. So I take my silly self over to the table where I believe her parents and her boyfriend were with her. The reason I believe this is just because of the vibe. It was the energy. I could be wrong. But I go over there and I'm looking directly at her, okay, to give her a compliment. And I'm giving her a compliment and she's looking at me with daggers in her eyes. I could feel ill intent in this woman's stare. So I leave the table. The parents and the guy that was there, they were super nice. They were super, oh, thank you. Like, oh, that's so cool. It's so sweet that you would come and say blah, 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 blah. I end up going to the lake with my sister. We go to the lake all the time. All the time. We go, we hang out. Never had any problems with any animals or anything. I go to get in the car, and I thought one of my bracelets pinched me. Pinched me hard as fuck. Rolled up my sleeve. I rubbed my arm. I was like, damn, like that really fucking hurt. It really hurt. It was like right in here somewhere. I was like, damn, I didn't know my bracelet was up that far. We get in the car. I'm moving around. I'm doing things. We're talking. It's about a 10-minute drive back to the house. We get back to the house. As we're coming up the steps to get into the apartment, I feel a pinch again, further up my arm. I'm like, what is this? I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Shit hurt. The first pinch, I knew something was wrong because it was radiating, like hot. And I was like, oh, okay, like what the fuck happened? We're getting up to the steps of the apartment. Now, I frequently bless this apartment. I will cleanse energy and I will create kind of like my little version of a little magical seal around the door to block any negative energy from coming in this bitch. As I'm unlocking the door to cross the threshold, my sister goes, oh my God, there is a hornet. A hornet just crawled out of your jacket. And I froze and I was like, where is it? And she's like, it's on, I'm gonna try to shoo it away. So she goes to try to shoo it. And she freaked out because it crawled out of my jacket and then looked like it was going to fly away. She went to shoo it, and it went back into my jacket and was headed towards my neck. So I was carrying food. I dropped the food went everywhere. I'm snatching my jacket off. The hornet comes out of the jacket and makes a beeline for me. It's coming right at me. I stepped on it, brushed it off. I come into the apartment, I had to take some deep breaths. I've been stung by a wasp one time in my life. That shit sucked, but it was not nearly as bad as this hornet sting. I was stung twice. One here, and then one up here. I was trying to breathe. I was trying to calm myself. I looked it up, washed, my arm and everything, and then I was moved by spirit to do some cleansing of the patio. So I went out there, followed all of the detailed instructions that I got, looked it up later, and found out that I was doing a clear negative energy type spell situation, and then I was also bolstering the front patio. So I asked spirit because my arm hurt, bro. I was in so much pain. And I was like, what happened? And spirit said, we told you not to go over there. We told you not to go talk to her. I had felt that this woman wished all kinds of negativity on me. For what? I don't know. And it's not my business. I shouldn't have been over there. Should not have been over there talking to her. Now, some of y'all might be like, well, bugs happen, people get stung all the time. I don't get stung all the time. And there was no reason for the hornet to be chilling in my jacket for 10 minutes in the car while I'm moving around, dancing and singing, and it didn't touch me. It stung me right as I was getting into the car, and then one more time as I was about to come into the apartment. 2 stings. So I meditated on it. I was like, what is this? And spirit let me know, girl, when we tell you to leave people alone, leave them alone. Not everybody is looking for you to compliment them. And this is for you. Not everybody wants to see you happy. Not everybody wants you coming over to them to help them. Sometimes when we see people that need help, our guts tell us to leave them alone. And yet we ignore it because we feel obligated or we feel bad for those people. Some of us, it's an ego thing. We think that if we don't help them, who will? It's crazy how something so simple like helping another person can become a lesson for minding your business. And I had to think on it. I had to think on all of the times where I have jumped out of my way to go help somebody, not because they needed help, but because it was my ego. Spirit checked me hard as fuck. I felt really stupid, reflecting back on it, because I felt it in my gut not to go speak to her. And I did. There are a lot of people, for those of you that don't know, who even though they may not claim that they are spiritual people, their willpower and intent is incredibly strong. Whether it be willpower and intent to do really great and positive things or negative shit. It's there. It happens all the time. And I was scared for like the next week. I was scared. I was cleansing every time I left the house because when I tell you those things really set me straight, they really set me straight. But after that situation is when spirits told me the reason that situation happened was to let you know that you are about to move out of the safety of the home here. Safety meaning these are all people that you know who care about you. So I live with my parents and my sister, who is like my best person. Fucking love her. And I'm about to leave this space. I've been manifesting this for so long to move to a different spot. And they're like, you're going to be in a place where you're not with close friends. So you have to have spiritual bolstering. You've got to be strong. You've got to trust your spirit and your intuition. And for those of you who are trying to leave areas that you're in, you're trying to strike out on your own, you're trying to do your own thing, now is the time to really get into whatever your spiritual practice is and bolster it. Now is the time for you to like have your go-tos to help you calm down when you get too angry. The things that will make you feel good if you start feeling a little depressed or you start feeling grief that comes out of nowhere. You need to have things in place to protect yourself, to strengthen yourself, and to support you. as you're moving out into the world and as you're doing other stuff. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't think about the fact that I would be hopping into a vehicle, either a plane or a car, and packing up my stuff and moving. I have been asking. I've been manifesting this whole move process since, what, November of last year. Now, me wanting to move to Boston, Massachusetts, that's new. And it doesn't have to be Boston. I just want to be up north. But that's new. But I've been wanting to move since November of last year. And I'm really glad that it didn't happen yet, because there's so much that I've learned between then and now that I'm like, whoa, I would have gone out here and I would have been okay. Like, okay. But I don't want to be okay. I want to thrive. I want to be out here doing my thing. You feel me? So, that situation happened, shook me to my core. So I started creating my spiritual book and adding things into it. So symbols and synchronicities that I see. I have all of the meanings, things that I forget. Ringing in both ears, your left ear, your right ear, high pitch, low pitch. I have that in there because I always forget what the ringing means. Like, even to me, I be forgetting. I have ingredients for teas in order to help with different things. So sore throat, headache, bloating, inflammation, nausea. I have all of that in there. And then recently, I've been on a journey to work through like alchemy related things. And that's been fun. So essentially, alchemy is the act of magic, you know. The changing one, the transmutation, changing one thing from one thing to another. And so I've been working with that in my own self. And when I tell y'all, this shit, bro, it's really made me aware of what my conscious energetic state is. So I've been looking at kind of what every emotion, the energy of every emotion, what it means, you know, what does it feel like? Because alchemy states that everything is made up of, you know, like 4 different energies, 4 or 5. So you have space, which represents expansiveness. Then you have air, which represents mobility. You have fire, which represents temperature, hot and cold. You have water, which represents fluidity. And then you have earth, which is solidity. And all of that energy makes up all of the things. And what was it? Everything that exists is made up of 3 things: energy, matter, and consciousness. And I've been, you know, going to various articles. I've been reading in various spiritual books, you know, listening to talks and lectures and stuff, and just kind of like educating myself on all of these energies and, you know, what they do and all that stuff. So I went from being in a place where I was just trying to manifest shit to spirit kind of guiding me to a place where I'm beginning to understand the energy of how things work a little better. So, like, for example, the 2 most familiar emotions, vulnerability moment, the 2 most familiar emotions that I experience are anxiety and anger. Those are the 2 most familiar. Anxiety, you know, being a extreme version of fear. And then anger, actually, what I experience the most is irritation. Irritation when things are not the way I want them. And I know you know what I'm talking about. And then that irritation, I've realized my irritation simmers. So it never goes, I'm happy and then I'm angry. It goes from irritation, and then the irritation simmers. And it simmers and it simmers and it simmers, and then it becomes anger over time. Learned that about myself. I'm telling you guys, looking into your emotional person is so important to know self. Knowing thyself. This is a phrase that I've been seeing everywhere recently. Know thyself. And this is something that Spirit has been on me about. This is so good, bro. Side note, if you're ever looking for something like tasty to drink that's hot, honey, cinnamon, milk. I am allergic to milk. So I use like almond milk or oat milk, and then hot water. If I run out of tea, that is what I do, and I heat all of that up, and it's delicious, and it's amazing, and it warms the spirit, and it's so good. So, what was I saying? was I? Oh, wow. It is 7/17/2025. I didn't realize today was the 17th. So it is 07/17/2025. Interesting. A lot of sevens today. So, what was I saying? Yes, so the energies. This is what I've been learning about. So, anger for me is fire. It's very hot. It runs very, very hot. And I feel like it's this way for most people, and probably this way for you as well. And so what I do is I've been looking at the art of transmutating that energy from one place to a different place, right? So for me, anxiety tends to feel like ice spikes. So like if you're playing a video game, which I've been doing a lot of recently, ice spikes in video games tend to hurt your characters. Think about stalactites and stalagmites in caves, you know, think about school. And when I get anxiety, that is what I feel in my chest. And so what I've started doing is when I start feeling anxiety, I stop. Also, find yourself some breathing exercises. This is something else that I have in my grimoire. I found breathing exercises that work for me. They don't all work for me. They don't all work. So what is it, 4, 5, 7, or 4, 7, 8? There's a breathing pattern where you inhale for 4, you hold for 5, and then you breathe out for 8 or something like that. 21 minutes and 23 seconds I'm saying that on my timer. And I have always tried that and it doesn't work for me. What works for me is box breathing. So in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold that exhale. After you exhale, you stop for 4, and then inhale for 4. And it's like a box. And I do that, and that works for me. So when I feel anxiety, I stop and I breathe, and I figure out where in the body that energy is, because it's energy. So instead of trying to stop the emotion, I feel out where the energy is. Now, something that I've learned is that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is. It moves into form, through form, and out of form. That's what it does, right? So whenever you're trying to push down your emotions, right? You're trying to just stop having emotions. That's why people blow up. That's why people implode and they end up imploding on themselves. Because emotion is energy. It's energy. The energy is what's happening, and the emotion is what communicates to you what is happening with your energy in your body. Crazy, right? And so for me, I recognize that ice spiky feeling. I do some deep breaths, and then I start to imagine and feel within myself where that ice spiky energy is, and I start to increase the heat. I start to warm it so that those ice spikes become water. Fluid, peaceful, calm, tranquil. It's taking me a long time to do because this is years and years and years of anxiety that I'm now trying to work on, you know, that I'm now trying to increase the temperature. So for me, it's not just making it into water. It's also then reminding myself to feel that solidity in my own spirit, to feel that, connecting to the earth, and grounding myself. Man, grounding techniques are so important. I know one of the ways that you can ground, just off the top of my head, hey, 23 minutes as I'm talking about this topic, for grounding, you can rub your hands together. Obviously, you can go outside. I like to go outside barefoot because I'm an island gal. I also will go and walk underneath trees or sit beneath a tree. Something else that I really like to do is to lie flat on the ground in my home. I don't usually do that outside because bugs, and you know, I can't have them getting all up in, you know, in what's happening here. Another thing is the 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, I think, 2 smells, and then 1 taste. And so you go through and you look in your immediate vicinity and you point out 5 things that you can see. Then you touch 4 things. So like your shirt, your jewelry, your skin, a chair. And then 3 things that you can hear. So for me, I can hear the music on the computer. I can hear my AC unit. And I can also hear that my mom is in a meeting. And then 2 things I think smell, and then 1 thing you can taste. Typically taste is hard for me and smell is hard for me. And I think that's the result of COVID, I'm not gonna lie to you. But anywho, so that's what I've been working on, those kinds of things. And I gotta tell you, it's so worth it to Really look at who you are and begin to know yourself better. Begin to know your emotions better. When things happen, take a step back. And something else I've been moved to do is I have a section in my notes app where after situations happen, if they're high emotion or low emotion, or maybe something irritated me or something happened, I am moved to then go into my notes app and write out what happened or do a voice memo about what happened. And I kind of process through it and talk through it. And this could help you when you're confused, when you don't know how you feel. Sometimes you got to talk through it. It's like authors, they say that your first draft is literally just to get all the shit out of your head onto paper. Then you go back and you look through and you try to make sense of everything. But being able to either journal physically on pen and paper, in your phone in a notes app, in a voice note, yeah, I was gonna say you could call yourself and leave a voicemail. I don't know how that would work, but anything to help you pretty much process through where you're at emotionally. I'm telling you that the time is now for us to know who we are, or at least to begin to learn who we are. You know, there's so many of us are looking for partners, and I could talk about this forever. It's so crazy that there's so many people out here dating, and I've spoken to people and they're like, I'm just looking for my soulmate. And I'm like, well, what are you looking for? And they're like, I'm just really looking, for a nice guy that treats me right, and that's really all that they're wanting. And while that's beautiful and amazing, it takes so much more to be in a relationship. And not so much more as in it is the hardest thing you're ever going to do, but you're literally bringing in another person into your space, and you are being brought into their space. And the new relationship energy lasts, for a pretty long time, but then after that goes away and people start getting used to each other's presence, we have the big issue of taking each other for granted, which I think is actually attached to human beings' ability to adapt really quick. Like, we adapt to new situations. I think, like humanity, we struggle with change. We really do. People fight change. But I think once you're in it and it's unavoidable, we adapt and we overcome. Like, that's kind of what humanity is all about, There's a lot to adapt and overcome these days. And, bitch, when I tell you that in a relationship, something we've begged and prayed for, it's so easy for us to look at this person and go, well, this person's just always here. So then we start to take them for granted. And you might be sitting there, especially if you haven't been in a relationship in a long time, or if you're watching this and you've never been in a relationship before, it's easy to say, well, I would never do that because I've been wanting this for so long. Like, I'm a lover girl, or I'm a lover person, I'm a lover guy. Like, this is what I do, this is what I want. But now is a really good time. I like this song, hold on. But now is a really good time to look at self. I think every day is a good time to look at self. I know if you're watching this and you've been on TikTok or, I was about to say Vine. Oh my God, R.I.P. Vine. I miss Vine. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google+, YouTube, Twitch, any of these places, then a lot of people who are talking spirituality are talking about focusing on self. At least on my pages. Now is a good time to do that. And it's always a good time to do that. Because when you don't understand what you're asking for. You don't understand what you want. You just don't know. You just don't know what you want. There's that scene in The Notebook when he's like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? And she's like, I don't know. And she's like, I just don't know what I want. And I feel like it's a lot of people that just don't know what they want. And while that's great for a dramatic film, for a love story, it's not great for real life trying to commune with other people. And you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know exactly what you want out of life and exactly who you are, but it's worth it to begin that explorative process. You know what I'm saying? So, oh my God, 30 minutes to talk about, like, that's what I've been up to. That's really what I've been up to as far as the spiritual stuff. So, making notes about things, writing things down, trying to get to know myself. Interestingly enough, I've had less issues with people because I take the time to kind of sit in that expansiveness. I've been trying to get closer in a more intimate relationship with my intuition. That's something you should do. That's definitely something you should do if you haven't done it. What does your intuition feel like? And if you're like, how do I even figure that out? think about it. Have a couple of days where you dedicate yourself multiple times a day to asking, what does my intuition feel like? And then when you have moments where you have an unexplained nudge to do something, that is your intuition. That is your intuition. So when those moments happen, take note of them and start to really feel what your intuition feels like, so that your intuition isn't just a passive thing that kind of happens and you listen to it sometimes and then you don't listen to it other times. 30 minutes and 23 seconds as I say that. Let it be something that you're connected to more consistently and that you're actively using when you're doing things. So many of you who are afraid of dating, your intuition will actually help you through that process, because your intuition is connected to that collective consciousness. So if you're dating somebody, your intuition knows whether or not that person's going to be a person who's in any way compatible with you. You don't have to sit there and logic your way through the whole thing. I mean, yeah, it's good to have, oh, white crane just flew by. So a white crane, don't know who that's for, but a white crane just flew by. Beautiful and graceful as fuck. When you're dating people, I think it's good to have like an idea of what you're looking for in a relationship. So if you're dating because you want to get married and have kids and you want to have all that stuff, I think it's good to know that so that you can communicate that to the other person so that they're not getting blindsided. They're here to have a good time. They just got out of a 10-year relationship and they're looking to just, run the streets and have a good time. And then you're over here acting like that's what you're here for when like you're actually here to mystery sting. You're actually looking to trap them. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that girl. You don't want to be that person. So, more tea. This is so good. It's so good. So, yeah, man. Now is the time. Now's the time. So that's what's been going on spiritually. And I've really been enjoying it. I have done less tarot card readings for myself recently. I find that the more you listen to your intuition, the less you actually need symbols and synchronicities and tarot and other people to tell you what's going on. You'll still get it because the universe, spirit, God, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, is always trying to communicate with you. Always trying to let you know what's up. Always trying to keep you safe. Let you know when you're being a little stupid. Spirit's there in everything. That's at least what I believe. I believe that the same consciousness that is in me is in all things. And so as a result, I try to treat things, people, animals, everything with respect. I just find that it's a more peaceful way of living when you do it that way. Sometimes I get frustrated, I'll toss something, and then I feel bad afterwards. I talk to inanimate objects all the time. That's the vibe that I be on. But yeah, so that's spirit. So we are 33 minutes in, and I talked about the spirituality aspect. Hopefully some of that was beneficial or helpful to somebody. As far as the romantic stuff goes, that shit's hilarious. I was talking to somebody very briefly, maybe a year ago. That's the last time I was talking to somebody, was a year ago. And I was talking to this person and realized as I was talking to them, I was like attracted to this guy. And he wasn't a bad looking guy. I wasn't like physically attracted to him, but I was attracted to like the energy that he had. And I was really trying to figure out, I was like, what is going on? Like something is off. Like no matter what I did, because I have what some people call the demi-click, which is, demisexuals require there to be some type of, something emotionally significant to hold on to be in a relationship. So they don't experience like attraction until that happens. And I don't think I'm demisexual. I thought that for a long time, but the more I'm exploring about myself, I don't think I'm demisexual. But, it's happened where I've been dealing with people and then found myself attracted to them later. So I was dealing with this guy and I was like, what's going on? What's happening? And I meditated on it. And he resembled, personality-wise, people that I've dated in the past. And I was like, oh, so the attraction is because it's familiar. It's familiar. And Spirit was like, yeah, keep going. And I was like, what's going on here? What's going on here? And I felt something was off. Like my gut Like, I would say things, and he wouldn't say anything that was like a red flag, but he would say stuff, and I'd be like, the energy, I didn't like the energy behind that. I just don't know. Like, I just don't know what was up with that. Come to find out later that this particular individual is a lot, like, gets very clingy very, very quickly. And it's kind of one of those desperation things. It's like, I'm tired of being by myself. So I really just want to be with somebody. So anybody who is okay looking and who is a decent human being is like Skyrim. Like, I'm just trying to get married. I'm just trying to lock somebody down. And that's not the vibe that I'm on. That's not the vibe that I'm on. Some people are. There are some people who they find each other and they're like, listen, I just want to be in a relationship. I'm tired of being single. And those people, they get together and they make that shit happen. They make that shit work. But me, I was talking to my Twitch chat yesterday about this, where I was saying that for me, I'm looking for depth. And when I say that, the easiest way for me to explain it is I am an internal person. I'm constantly asking, what am I thinking? Where is my head at? Where's my spirit at? Where's my soul at? Am I happy with the life that I'm living? Am I satisfied in any way? Do I feel fulfilled? Do I feel edified by the relationships in my life? You know, is the type of work that I'm doing edifying to my soul? I'm constantly in a place where I'm asking myself these questions. And I like asking these questions of the person that I'm with. Where's your head at? How are you feeling? Have you eaten today? Like, these are all of the ways that I kind of show that I love a person, you know? That's why I ask you guys, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Do you feel edified? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling a little depresso espresso? You know? And if you are, sit with me. Just sit with me for a minute. And we could just talk. I could talk. And again, if you're ever a person who is looking for a place to just be, and maybe you want to chat a little bit, come and hang out on my Twitch stream. Because yes, I play video games. Yes, I like to joke and I like to play. But we do get into some deep conversation. Like yesterday, we got into the same relationship conversation I'm having with you right now. And even if you're not looking to actively participate, you just come over there. I share my thoughts. I share my ideas. I share where I'm at. And who knows? You may end up getting some information from somebody else that's in chat. You know, a lot of the people who follow me have very intuitive ways of being, how they are like exploring their lives and stuff. It's a great time. It's a great little community to be a part of. So yes, obviously I would love for you to be there, because the more the merrier. But also, if you're ever thinking, man, I just want to be somewhere where the vibes are nice, the vibes do be nice over there. I'm just saying. I am on Twitch. You know, my link is here on YouTube, and I'll probably put my link in the description of this if you want to come over to Twitch and follow, you know, or if you just want to have the link saved. I try to post when I'm going live. I don't really do that much anymore because my goal is not to try to, you know, bring a bunch of people over. You know, if the vibe is right for you and you feel good, then yeah, of course I want you to be over there. I want you to have a good time. But I'm not really super duper big into marketing myself like I was when I first started, because I was just trying to get a bunch of followers. Now it's more about, is this where you want to be? 12:12 on the clock as I'm saying that. Is this where you want to be? Is the vibe edifying for you? But I'm constantly asking myself those questions, and relationships that I've been in where I ask the other people this, they appreciate the questions, but then they themselves are not interested in asking me those questions. So it's not like what is the word I'm looking for? What is this? When things are like doing that. Not a synchronicity. Hold. Stay with me. Synergy. There it is. Oh, I love that word, synergy. There's like a synergy that happens between a group of people who are all in that conversation, or who are asking each other those things. And most of the people that I've dated, they're not that way. I'm that way. But they're more like, they want to talk about other stuff, you know? And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But I'm looking for that type of relationship. Depth, you know? And what's crazy is when I meet people, I can feel it in my gut if this person is really looking to have that type of relationship, or if they're looking to be in a relationship at all. It's weird how your intuition will let you know. And a friend of mine, I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, women tend to judge men based on like their looks and everything. So, you know, women tend to swipe left on dating apps. Like, they do not tend to like a lot of guys because they're looking for the most attractive guys. And while a portion of that I think is true, women have a very we have a very low tolerance as far as, like, we're not, I don't want to say we, because that's generalizing. I try not to generalize, but I think a lot of women are very picky. But you gotta be, you know, you kind of gotta be, like, in the society that we're in. And again, it's a safety thing as well. I know that this is a hot topic right now of men who are angry because women are not giving them a chance or giving them opportunity. Honestly, bro, work on yourself. That's the biggest thing you should be working on. If you out here specifically trying to find a person, you need to know a lot about yourself. You need to know a lot. You need to be marketable to the specific type of person that you're looking for. But I was talking to my friend and I was like, well, the truth of the matter is women are also working based off of intuition. So you walk up and you're like, hey, how you doing? If your intent is to take her home and to get her in bed, a woman's intuition, especially a woman who is locked into her intuition, knows that. So you're trying to hide your intention. That's not gonna work. And you really shouldn't be doing that anyways. If you really are wanting that, you really should be upfront. There are people out here who want that. I keep saying this. There are people out here who want the thing that you want. It's a matter of going to where those people are. And if you're like, well, I have no idea where they're at, the internet is a vast place. You can literally go onto the TikTok alone. Start looking for where people go. Look for the things that you're interested in. If you like EDM concerts, if you like coffee shops, if you like bookstores or libraries, I'd be telling people, if you like going to cons, more and more people like myself go to cons. We enjoy it. We enjoy the interaction. We enjoy engaging. Now, again, if you're coming with some really not genuine energy, you're going to get what you get. But if you're being a genuine person, you're just out here, I'm watching genuine people fall in love. It's happening. Lord, I've seen what you've done for others. I've seen what you've done for them. I didn't mean to get off on that tangent. That's not really what we're talking about. But because I'm talking about me being in a relationship, or lack thereof, really. So yeah, I'm not really dating right now. And it's been that way for a minute. Like, this move that I'm trying to make to Massachusetts, I'm still looking for employment. I've been looking in healthcare because I really like healthcare. I do. I enjoy human resources. I enjoy, like, the clinical aspect. Really big update that I don't know if I shared is that my dad started dialysis for his kidney disease. For those of you that don't know, dialysis is a, like, procedure that does what your kidneys are supposed to do while you are looking for a replacement kidney. Your kidneys are responsible for processing all kinds of stuff. They're responsible for your blood pressure. They're responsible for processing like food, the sodium in food and stuff like that. They're very important. It's important. You need your kidneys, or you need at least one functioning kidney. And I think if it's 50% or higher functioning, you're good to go. But I took a class for a week. Got up at 5 a.m. every day to get ready to go. Left here and was there taking the class from 8 a.m. to 2 every day. And it was me and my mom and my dad, and we were there learning about the process of dialysis, the different types. There's hemodialysis, which is where they pull the blood out of your body, they clean it, and then they put it back. And then there's peritoneal dialysis, which essentially there's solution that they have that flows into your body, it stays in there, it sucks up all of the toxins and everything, and then it comes out. That's a very crude way of explaining it, but it's a great process that he could do here at home. So he does at home PD, which is peritoneal dialysis. And so I learned that whole process. I learned the little automated process with the machine that he has, and then I also learned a process if the power goes out and you don't have the machine, there is a process that you can do it takes a lot longer. And I learned all of that, and that was interesting because as I was talking to the nurses who were teaching us all of this, I remembered how much I miss healthcare and how much I love working with patients, oddly enough. Like, I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. 44 minutes and 48 seconds, let's say that. And so I was contemplating, like, maybe going back to school for something, getting a certification. I don't know. I'm kind of in this point in my life where it's like, I'm doing the side quests. And really everything is a side quest. The main quest is living. You know, like the main quest is actually existing, and then I think everything is a side quest. It's like what RuPaul says, we're all born naked and the rest is drag. I think we're all born, that's our main quest, and then everything else is side quests. So it's like if you want to, you know, get any type of job, those are all side quests. Even if you decide to stick with a job, that is a side quest, because living is the main quest. So I've been looking at that, like the different types of work, what I want to do. And so that's been really fascinating and really interesting. Really appreciating my sister and my parents and just enjoying being here, because when that move happens, I won't be back. The big reason that I came back was because I didn't think I could stand on my own. That's a big part of the reason I ended up moving back home, because I moved out of my parents' house directly into being in a relationship where I was moving in with my then partner's family, and so his family was taking care of me and taking care of us, because he also couldn't, you know, be out there on his own because of the way that the job market is. And so once we were like, okay, this separation is happening, I immediately moved back home. If I knew then what I know now, I probably would have just been like, no, let me just lock into getting a job, because at that time it wasn't that hard to get a job. I would have locked into having a job, even if it was a job I didn't want. And I probably would have stuck with it and then moved in with roommates or something, and I would not have moved back. But then there's so much I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't be streaming video games, which brings me so much joy to do. The conversation, the type of games, the vibe, it's everything. It's everything. I cried, I think it was Tuesday. I was streaming and I started crying on stream. I started tearing up. I wouldn't say I full on cried, you know, but I started tearing up because I realized how much it really is helping me on a spiritual level and on an emotional level to be streaming and engaging with all the people that I engage with. It's just so cool, you know? And so, that's what I'm doing as far as relationshiping. I'm more focusing on self right now. Focusing on who I want to be, where I want to go. And I think that's always, you know, it's a long journey that we're always taking, is trying to figure out who we are, what we want out of life. And I think what happens is, as you're in that process, somebody comes along, you know? So I don't know. I really do I feel like something is in the air. The last few storms that we've had here where I live, in Orlando, they've been different. The energy, like the spiritual pressure has been insane. So that's been interesting. I don't know what that's been about. Oh, but it's been really interesting, because the few times that I have gone, I don't leave the house very often. If I do, I go to the lake and I go hang out at, you know, our local lake, and there's lakes everywhere here in Florida. So I go to the lake, I hang out in nature, but I don't engage with people a lot. So I don't even know how I'm gonna be when I am dating a person, because it's just so odd. But like, I went out the other day and a man was flirting with me, and I didn't really know what to do. It's 12:22 as I'm saying this. 1-2-2-2, and I was like, I've been out of practice. I don't even know how to respond to people being flirty. I'm like, thank you, and then I just kind of, you know, I go back on, you know, my regularly scheduled programming. So I don't really know. Like, people really do have to be direct with me for me to be like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I'm feeling the vibe right now. This is not it. But I've really been feeling like Spirit's been blocking. Spirit's been a cock block. And I feel like it's because I am likely to get out here and lock it in with somebody. And I really do think that Spirit's like, nope. There is a person. We have a person in the wings, and they're working on themselves, and you're working on yourself, and we're going to bring you guys together at the perfect time that you need to be brought together. I believe in the red string theory. I believe that people are locked in with a person. But I also believe that there are multiples. I believe that there are multiple people for a person. Yo, why does this song sound like this? God damn it. I can't afford it. Ooh, I can't. No, because I'm using my phone. Hold on, I'm about to cheat the system. Yeah, there was a high-pitched ringing in that song. I didn't like that. So, yeah, that's what's going on in that regard. We're just chilling. Work, still applying. I've had 1223 as I'm saying this. There's people who they have taken my resume and they've looked at it. They've gone and taken it into businesses and showed people. So I'm telling you, like, I'm applying to stuff raw, like I'm raw dogging applying for jobs, and then also I have people who are vouching for me, vouching for my work ethic, and taking in my breath. No job. So if you're having trouble finding a job right now, you are not the only one. And it's not even that I'm just in here hitting easy apply on jobs through LinkedIn. Like, no, like I am going in and filling out job applications, and I'm hearing nothing. I'm getting the automatic email saying, thank you for applying, we'll be in contact, and then they're not, because they lie. 50 minutes and 55 seconds as I say that. But yeah, so that's what's been going down in the work vibes, in the work areas. What else do I have for y'all? I don't have much. I say that, and it's been 51 minutes. I keep saying I don't have much, but I do. I have things. Now really is a good time, bro. Like this summer, bro, this summer's heat has been crazy in the state of Florida. And the drivers are even crazier here in the state of Florida. If you live in the state of Florida and you drive, the rain does exist. So when it's raining, slow down, bro. You get no kudos for getting to your destination 2 minutes early if you are putting everybody on the road at risk. It's not that deep. It really is not. Just because you don't care about your own life doesn't mean you should be not caring about other people's lives, bro. Chill out. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, guys. It's been a wild ride. I think I already talked about the fact that I was manifesting going to PAX. Oh, I was gonna go to Boston. That flight, I had talked about how grateful I was because I was gonna go to Boston. And then my mom, who I was gonna be tagging along with to go, because I don't have the finances to do that, came in and told me that we couldn't go. Something had happened and the trip was canceled. And I was very sad. I was very depressed, I'm not gonna lie. I always try to be honest and update y'all when things that I said I was hoping worked out or things were starting to work out don't work out, because that's just a part of life, you know, and it happens to everybody where you get really excited about a plan or you get really excited about something working and it doesn't work out. That happens. And it's okay. And I felt stupid at first. There's so many things that I've been wanting and I felt really stupid about it when it hasn't happened or things have changed or it's kind of like, well, obviously that was delusional, but no, like I still have hope. I still have hope. I'm a hopeful romantic about life, about love, about spirituality, about all the fun stuff, you know? I think the last time I did a video on here, I had like 30 something followers on Twitch. And now I have 43, and it's crazy. I had somebody gifted our chat 5 subscribers, 5 subscriptions, which means that those people don't have ads on it for an entire month, because the way that the channel is, the platform is set up is it just runs ads automatically. So if people subscribe to my channel, I get a little cut of that. Twitch turns off ads so that people can experience everything without there being ads in them. So, and I know YouTube sometimes will place ads on videos like this. So I guess they gotta make their money somehow. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So that is what's going on. My little crane is still out there. Well, he's not little. I don't think I could take him. He seems kind of big. I could try. I could get maybe 2 hits into that crane out there. But I think after that, he'd probably have my ass. But yeah, man. What else? What else do I have for you all? It's so good. Even though it's not hot, it's warm. It's still good. I really do hope y'all are doing okay. I know there's a lot happening in politics. There's a lot happening in politics. And none of my platforms do I want to talk politics because I am not educated enough, A, because the type of time it takes to educate yourself on stuff like that, it's got to be more than a Google search, bro. Like, you actually need to understand how the different, like, political factions, how everything works, you know? You can't just hop in there and just be like, oh, I mean, I guess you can. A lot of people are doing that, where they're just going in, taking information they like, and then running with it, instead of doing actual research, which is looking at the pros and the cons of the things that you're doing. But like right now, I'm watching so many people who are in leadership positions not care about humanity, and it blows my mind. It blows my mind that there are people out here who do not support people being kind to one another. They don't support people having the right to do what it is they want to do. It's like they would rather there be stringent rules in place that everybody must follow or be punished, instead of having the ability to choose for oneself. Which is crazy, because it's like, that's all well and good until you no longer can choose for yourself. So it was interesting that a lot of people were voting the way that they were voting, and I had a couple of friends who were like, well, I can't believe that this is what's happening, you know, with the laws that are being passed. And I was like, but this is exactly what the person who you voted for was saying they were going to do. This is what I mean when I say people need to do research, because the person that you voted for literally was running campaigns where they were talking about everything they were gonna do, and they said one thing that you liked, and so you voted that way, which I don't judge. You got to do what you got to do for you, you know? But then you have the audacity, really, to be surprised when shit is going exactly the way that the person said they were going to do what they were going to do. But again, that's not my platform. But listen, if you guys can do anything in this life, be kind. And I'm not talking being nice. The South is popular for having nice people, you know. But be kind. Kindness is free. Like, what's the difference between being nice and being kind? Being nice is telling, you know, somebody, oh, you know, you look really cute today. That's being nice. Being kind is seeing that somebody has some place to be and they're trying to get off this plane, and you allow them to pass you instead of standing up in front of them, not being aware, you know? Being aware of your surroundings is also a way of being kind. It's passive kindness, I would say, because when you're aware of your surroundings, you see people come. Being kind on the road, not driving like a maniac. Excuse me, if you cut people off, wave, be like, my bad, I didn't mean to, you know? The amount of people I know who have road rage, it's like somebody cuts them off and now they want to be all up next to them, flicking them off and honking their horn. Bro, your life is on the line. You really want to do this for some petty shit? I don't know, bro. I really did this video so that I could update you guys on the things that I was going through. And just, you know, give a little bit of, shine some light on what's been happening in the world of Yasha/Tato the Penguin. Yeah. I tell you what, though, I feel good. I feel good. With everything that's happening in the world right now, I feel good. And I'm finding that there's actually a lot of positive stuff that's going down. Nice. I find that there's a lot of positive things happening. I'm engaging with animals a lot more. I'm seeing a lot of squirrels, and that's a good sign. Squirrels remind you to be playful. So I don't know who that's for. But be playful. That's something that I'm starting to do more of. I want to have levity. I want to be jovial. I want to be playful in my life. And I feel like that's such a great way to live. Like, taking ourselves so seriously and taking everything so seriously, I don't think it's good for us. I think you should joke a little bit. Wow, so we are at an hour in this video. I love you guys so much. I think I've rambled and yapped on long enough. I love you guys. I don't know when I'll do another video like this, but like I said, if you're interested in hearing me yap or hearing me talk and you just want to play that in the background, come on over to Twitch, because I'd be over there for 2+ hours yapping if you're interested. 59 minutes and 23 seconds as I say that. So if you're interested, come over to Twitch. Come on over. Come hang out. And you ain't even got to follow, honestly. Like, if you see that it's a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Friday, pop in. I mean, I think you have to follow me in order to be in the chat, but if you're just wanting to just look and you don't want to follow, you don't have to follow. You can just come hang out. Because I know some people, they want to have something in the background of what they're doing. I'm one of those people. But anywho, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you're at. Wherever you're at. I hope that you continue to feel loved. If you're not feeling loved right now, I want you to hold yourself, hug yourself. My hands are cold. Just take some deep breaths and just know that you are loved. You are loved. There is energy in you. The fact that your heart is beating, the fact that your blood is circulating, you're breathing in and breathing out. So, in case you wanted to know, box breathing. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold for 4. In for 4. That's box breathing. I tend to slow it down. So sometimes it's not 4 seconds, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, because it just feels so good to the spirit. Yeah, I love you guys. I really do. I don't have to know you. I don't have to know you to love you. So, hang in there. 12:34 as I say that. Hang in there. And 1 hour, 1 minute, and 23 seconds as I say that. Hang in there. Hang in there. It gets better. It does. I didn't think I was going to make it to 32. It gets better. So just hang in there. We've got this. You've got this. Okay? We're all going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And being okay doesn't mean everything's going to work out 100% of the time. Sometimes being okay is you got through your day and it's the end of the day and you got through it. Sometimes being okay is you woke up this morning. Sometimes being okay is, yeah, you stubbed your toe, but you're okay. You'll recover from it. That's what we do. That's what we do. Is there anything else I need to say? Sometimes I feel like I'm here because I feel like there's one more thing that I need to say. Other than love yourself, other than take care of yourself, get some sleep, get some water in. I didn't drink any water during this, and usually I ask you if you've had water today. 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 34 seconds. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is significant for somebody. That is significant for you. It's all about the journey. It's all about the journey. The destination is simply one destination in a long line of destinations. So ultimately, even your destination is about the journey. It's about how you're getting there. It's about the path that you're taking, the detours, the side steps. If you're thinking that you're being held back, if you're doing something like you found that you had to stop what you were doing to take care of somebody, that's not a detour from your life. That is a part of it. It's a part of the journey. It's teaching you something valuable. You're learning something. You're enjoying. You're a part of the whole situation. And remember, guys, anything that you do towards self-betterment is actually helping humanity. It's elevating humanity's energetic level. It is. I believe that. I know some people don't. They're like, what I do doesn't affect other people. Yeah, the fuck it does. Yes, it does. I will argue with you. And do I have any facts to back this? No, but there are. There are scientific facts to back the fact that human beings, everything that we do is affecting the human beings around us. COVID is an example of that. So if you're trying to say that, oh, well, one person can't, yes, they can. One nigga is bit by a zombie and that person bites 5 other people. Yes, they do affect everybody else. All right, that's all I have for you guys. I love you. Hopefully it won't be so long before I do another update video like this, because I have heard, at least from one of the people who be following me, that you enjoy the videos, these long form videos that I do. So I love you guys so much. I care about you guys so much. And just hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there. If you don't do anything else for yourself today, drink some water and then give yourself a big old hug for me. Give yourself a big old hug. Big ol' hug. It's time for more tattoos. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later.